Let's get started. First, I'd like to introduce Mavic and Martin. Mavic is the CEO of Betswap. He is an aeronautical engineer, founded a fintech startup to exit, and has done large-scale Bitcoin mining from 2016 and 2018. He founded a sports betting platform, and now he is CEO of Betswap. Martin is their product director, has over 25 years of experience in sports betting. He's worked at industry heavyweights like Betfair and Paddy Power. He has built multiple sports betting platforms from scratch, developed pricing models for soccer, US sports, and cricket. He has experience across a wide range of territories, including the UK and Ireland, Italy, Sweden, India, Africa, Brazil, Latin America, and the CIS region. Can you all tell me a little bit about the background of the rest of your team?
Thanks, Alice. And nice to meet everybody. Yeah, I think Mavic might give a bit of background. Mavic, you can hear us okay, yeah?
You are muted, Mavic, just so you know.
Famous last words online these days, you're on mute. But maybe he's trying to find the mute button. We'll give him a couple of seconds. I can maybe talk about the background of the rest of the team as well. But no, listen, it's great to be here and great to be with the community. We've got lots of people on the call. Lots of really cool things to talk about. So just about, with the exception of myself and Mavic, I guess the rest of the team, very varied. A lot of blockchain experience. We've got people who have founded blockchain startups in the past, have been involved in that kind of particular sphere for like 10, 15 years. We've got lots of people who've worked at the kind of highest level in sports betting and gaming, in similar territories like me. So we have a few ex-Betfair people as well. So the team is quite varied, quite strong, a lot of really good leaders. We're quite small as a team still, and we will be growing as time goes by. But we're in a good position. I think Mavic can hear us, so anyway. But so look, that's a bit of background about the team. Anybody has any questions, we're gonna go through a kind of list of questions, I think, to start. Let's come through some of the channels on Discord and Twitter. And there'll be questions at the end. If anybody wants to ask any more questions regarding the team, we'll be happy to answer them then.
All right, so I'm going to get started with the questions now that Mavic's here with us. First question about marketing. Can you tell us something about your marketing plans? When and where are the general public population finally going to hear about Betswap?
So I can translate this question as like you're talking about the markets that we are focusing on, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So currently, at the moment, we are getting traffic hits to our website from tier 1 markets like US, UK, Canada, Italy. These are the highest traffic that we're getting it organically. But actually, our target is like emerging markets like Latin America. For example, even if you look into statistics now, even the Bet365 and Betfair, all these big companies are targeting Brazil, Africa, and India. These are the markets they are focusing on. And this is where they're getting the highest users from. So we are looking into the same markets as emerging markets. But organically, we are getting currently like from US, UK, Italy, and then this is like, we are not even marketing anything. So that is something like which we have a good exposure to. So these are the markets that we are planning to focus on more at the initial stage, phase 1. And then once we grow the audiences and users in this particular region, then we can think about going to other markets. And this is how we plan it.
Awesome. Can you tell us something about the global partners that you're negotiating with?
Currently, we are talking with multiple partners, but I cannot name them until we confirm certain deals with them. So we are in touch with, for example, for soccer, we are talking with I can name few of them if you need it. Like one of them is like 433 is an Instagram page with 46 million followers where even all the top soccer players are following them. We are in talks with them for the marketing in the time of FIFA. For when the FIFA begins, that's going to be the highest traffic time when they're going to look into those pages. Where we'll be sponsoring the stories and all the scoring cards and everything. And we are also talking to a couple of football clubs in Europe. Still, it's not confirmed, so that's why I cannot name them. And very recently, two of the NFT games, play to earn games, they contacted us and they wanted to incorporate a betting element. So they don't want to touch the betting, but they want to incorporate these games into our Betswap platform. So those of these two games, they're quite popular with a high community of like 60,000. The other game is having like 120,000 community members. So they wanted to, collaborate with this and add the betting element to them. So yeah, those stuff will go live probably next month, towards the like end of June or something like that. So we will name them shortly, once we make a final announcement to them. Yes, we are talking to multiple of them, and also we are planning to also do some sponsorships on La Liga tournaments on the stadiums. That also under talks. These are like exposure, brand exposure. Apart from that, we are also looking to influencer marketing. But we tried influencer marketing previously, but it was not that effective because it was too early. I think so because without the mainnet product getting launched, I don't think much of a traction gonna happen. Even if you start the influencer marketing. So all this thing will be started as soon as when the mainnet launch is going live. Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay, so with a hypothetical goal of growing the Betswap user base beyond the 1 million mark, what single barrier do you believe is the biggest? How do you prepare to break down this specific barrier?
I'll take this one. So 1 million, we were looking for a lot more than that, to be honest with you. That would be a nice milestone to hit soon in the next couple of months. But definitely look to grow much, much larger than that. It's a very good question. I think personally, the biggest challenge is going to be exchange betting, to be honest with you. Mavic has alluded to some of the territories which we'll be targeting. Actually, some of the ones he referenced, the likes of Italy, actually not even Italy, but if you look around the globe at exchange betting behavior, people who kind of know back and lay versus traditional fixed odds sports books, you're kind of looking at places like Italy, places like India, and places like Brazil, which is an up and coming exchange betting territory at the moment. Inside of those territories, betting exchanges don't really exist today. And if they do exist, the uptake on them is very, very small. My background is at Betfair, so I'm very familiar with the kind of global landscape in terms of exchange users. So that's probably our biggest challenge, to be honest with you, is adopting people onto the concept of what we have. So most people will be very familiar with the sportsbook fixed odds element. I'm sure if there's a proportion of people on this call today who are sports bettors, they'd be very familiar with that aspect of it, and potentially not familiar with the sports betting back and lay side of things. It's not that difficult, albeit it's very easy for me to sit here and say that, given that I've worked in kind of this environment for a very, very long time. But if you go to, I'm seeing some of the messages come across on our Discords and our Telegrams of people going, "What's back and lay?" And this is the same messages I've seen for many, many, many years while working at Betfair. So it doesn't come as a surprise, and I think that's our biggest challenge now. We're looking at solutions to it, particularly. There's a question later on. I'm kind of half answering it right now, but I think education is a big piece here. So that's kind of how we'll solve that. Tutorials and this type of stuff, right? I think onboarding on the site as well. So on our app, on our website, on the sports betting website, we need to ensure that new users to the exchange, of which there are going to be many, and we don't exist at the moment, so acquisition is a big thing. We need to make sure that onboarding experience, the tutorials and education for people to learn about what back and lay is. We do have some ideas of how to kind of ease and smooth the process. And in some territories we may not call it back and lay, we may call it buy and sell, for example. So
Martin, I wanted to barge in here. So the moment, like, I can give a live example. So one of our Chinese community, we just train them how to back and lay. The moment they understand how the lay works, like, which means like you're acting as a bookmaker, all of a sudden they only want to lay all the bets. They don't want to get on play the be better anymore. So yes, once the people understand the back and lay functionality, they will love it. So that's one of the things that for the mass adaptation, like what your question was, Alice. So if you wanted to go reach 1 million target, the marketing will help us a lot. And apart from that, education, as Martin was explaining, educating people about what's the difference between a traditional sports book and an exchange, and how it is a peer-to-peer. Yep.
Yeah, and just to maybe finalize on that one, would be user interface. Again, we will shape the interface that people can configure it in a way that if they just wanted to see back odds, which would be similar to a fixed odds element, they could do that if they want to, albeit the lay option would be there as well. So I think education and the adoption of betting exchanges is the biggest challenge we face.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to business strategy and finance questions. Besides the seed investment, are there any areas where Wonderland can help to make your project a success?
Yeah, I'll maybe take the first part of this, Mavic. So I think brand advocacy, to be honest with you, is the biggest help that you guys could give to us. We've already seen kind of many people coming over to the Betswap side of things from the Wonderland group, from the Wonderland community, and what we have over here in the Betswap community is lots of transparency, lots of openness, and lots of encouragement to be involved in what we're doing. As much as the experience I have within sports betting and working with customer focus groups over the years, I don't know everything, and I don't allude to know everything. Me particularly, the way I build products is to get customers involved, and we have several UX UI focused customer groups in Betswap today. So I think, from my perspective, speaking personally, again, I think the biggest help the Wonderland community can give to us is being involved, getting involved in our Discord and our Telegram. We've kind of took off over the last kind of 6 weeks. Actually, some of our numbers and analytics in terms of people using the site is growing by the day, basically. So the graph is only going upwards. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is, if you do come over and you haven't already, it's very open. I'm on there literally every day. There's loads of people throwing suggestions, new games that we're going to build, and we'll talk about some of the new products and features that we have coming up throughout the AMA today. But some of those games can literally be shaped by people on this call. So yeah, I mean, Mavic, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
No, it's pretty much the same. We want your support, and also you guys can help us in testing the testnet. There was a lot of users who came on and tested our testnet. It was great feedbacks that help us to build the better product, that help us to get a lot of good feedbacks from the community, and we are incorporating all these features on board. So there's a lot of support, and in terms of marketing, spreading the word, many more. Yep.
Okay, great. Right, next question. Will there be a detailed finance page on Discord where we can find updated profit information, expenses, and other useful data?
Yes, actually, we are planning on that as well. So currently, our treasury wallet is open. It's already, we put it as a pinned in our Telegram channels that people can monitor all the funds where we are moving. It's completely transparent. Recently, we moved it to our multi-sig wallets. And then we are keeping it open for everybody to look into that anyway, to the blockchain. But we haven't done in a financial sheet, and we haven't published it on the system yet. But of course, we will do that once the mainnet is live, so that we will know exactly, so how much of the fee generated from the trading exchanges, and how much of that was spent on operating costs, and how much of that is being used for buyback and burn, and how much of that was used for sending to the staking protocols. So all these things are going to be transparent, of course, and there will be an information statistics page on the website as well that will show all that proper numbers and everything that you can verify into the blockchain and everything. Yes, but I'm not sure that it's going to be on a Discord. I mean, it's going to be on the website for sure. You can find it from there onwards. Yes. Because right now we are revamping our our landing page and multiple things we are doing. You'll see a lot of updates in this coming weeks, especially in the month of May. You will see a new complete UI UX on the landing page with more input and data on it. And then after that, we will be launching, towards the end of June, we will be launching the mainnet and all the stuff. Yep.
Great. Okay, so now security, compliance, regulation, and risks questions. Is there a risk of regulators coming in and restricting access, how certain CEXs are forbidden to operate in some countries.
I'm not sure, Mavic, you want to answer the first part of this? I've obviously got some opinions on it as well.
Yeah. So see, let me explain how do we operate. So this is the first question everybody asked to us when we started this project. What is the risk in front? This is a regulatory risk. So see, I used to run my own sports book before. So before I used to have a license from Malta. So even though when I had a license from Malta, the funny part is I'm not allowed to go and do a business in Germany. I'm not allowed to do business in UK. There's like the whole gambling regulation is like completely, even actually officially I cannot, but as a European Union I can go and I can market it all over Europe because Malta is part of Europe. So this was from the when I used to run a sports book, this was I learned previously. As of Web 3.0 is concerned, because first of all we are not we are completely a blockchain, number one, and we are hosted on a smart contract, and we are not taking any custody of funds. And number two, it's going to be peer-to-peer. There's no we are not acting as a bookmakers here. So completely either it's a peer-to-peer between the market makers and the liquidity pools, and the players are betting each other. And we don't see anything to be getting into a regulatory thing. If somebody who is from the regulators will look into it, they see it as a social betting actually. And the third thing is, even in US, for example, in US markets, people are talking about, hey, crypto betting is kind of like it's not a legal tender. Crypto is not considered as a legal tender in most of the states in US. They consider it as like a token, or a kind of like what to say. They don't consider it as a fiat currency. So as long as we don't touch the fiat currency, or it's considered as a social betting, or it's considered as a peer-to-peer betting. Apart from that, yes, when it grows, when any betting platform grows, the country will automatically do a IP ban. They will definitely ban the access to the website for sure. So that is very normal in any betting website. Even there are some countries with the word bet get banned automatically, even without picking up. That's default IP ban is there on the domain access level. So what normally, the sports bettor community already use VPN. They know this. It's not the only problem for us. It's a problem for like many of the Web 2.0 sports betting websites that they're operating globally. They offer some high bonuses, and people are, the sports betting community already use VPN. They're already aware of how to access this betting website. So I don't see it as a challenge at all. Yep. And Martin, you can add some points as well. Yeah.
I think you took most of my points out of my mouth, particularly towards the end. But I would only be echoing what you said towards the end, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Okay.
We can kind of move on to the next piece, Alex, if that's okay.
All right, the next question says, I believe compliance is one of the main challenges for this project. Likely speaking, are you considering monitoring under 18 betting and fraudulent practices? Besides, what about licensing? I understand that decentralized doesn't mean under the law.
Yeah, definitely a challenge. We've got a Curacao license, a Curacao gaming license, which allows us to operate in several territories around the globe, first and foremost. When it comes to underage betting, centralized networks today, obviously it's much more difficult to do there, but it is a challenge that we are very much mindful of it. We don't, and because of the decentralized nature, request somebody to be a particular age, right? So it's a challenge that we have, and a challenge that we're working towards finding solutions on. When it comes to the fraudulent side of things, it's we have tools. So we have an exchange platform which has inbuilt fraudulent monitoring in there, particularly on the movement of funds. And we will be doing partnerships with again, I'll just reference somebody like Sport Radar. It's not necessarily going to be Sport Radar, but if you look at Sport Radar's integrity services, which was set up a couple of years ago, particularly around kind of anti-doping and anti-match fixing. I mean, particularly with the anti-match fixing piece, they've done phenomenal work with many regulatory bodies and sport and governing bodies and gaming operators over the last 2 years, and have kind of pinpointed multiple match fixing across soccer, tennis, etc., etc., etc. So we will be doing partnerships with operators like that to make sure that we're protecting the community and people who are using the site.
Awesome. What are the biggest risks for this project?
Mavic,
I
you take this one.
yeah, I would like to take it. Yeah. So I don't think there are risks. I see them as a challenges. So what we see is like there are a couple of challenges, which, as you said, we already spoke about regulatory challenges, and there was which we addressed it, and which we know the solution to how to handle it through our legal lawyers and all these steps which I was mentioning to you. And apart from that, we have like liquidity challenges, because normally in a sports betting exchange, the problem is like liquidity, because you need to have matched bets. I can see that already in our Discord channel in the testnet run. We had some competitions for NFL. We had a competitions for the few of the games. Had a giveaways. People were feeling that some of the bets was not getting matched. So yes, that's because we haven't rolled out a system called automated liquidity pool for which we are under developing it for sure. Martin will give more details on that. So yeah, these are the only challenges, and then the marketing challenges. Like for example, some publications see this as a betting platform. They don't understand that this is a sporting exchange where it's a peer-to-peer. So which we are also addressing to that and educating them, and I'm making them understand this is same like a prediction market, because they are covering the prediction market. And also we are adding other products to it. It's not only going to be acting as the only sports betting exchange. So currently we got a request on adding some prediction market tools into that, like predicting on the crypto price up and down, like options trading, which is again actually considered as financial betting, but they call it options, but actually it's a financial betting. You're betting whether it's going to go up or down. So we're adding more tools to it, and more products to it. And also we're adding something like BSGG games. Like we're taking out old the casino games like Crash and Trend Balls, these games, and making them not, instead of a gambling product, we are trying to make them as a tournament, like where you buy into a tournament, you play multiple times, and you win prize money on top of that. So yes, we are creating so many products around that and trying to mitigate this risk or challenges. Whatever we try to get on board, we call it actually challenges. So we don't see anything like a major threat that will hurt us or something, but so far everything is manageable and everything is good. And yeah.
Awesome. Okay, the next question section is about token utility and staking. And the question we have is, as far as I understood, the plan is to buy back and burn 90% of the tokens over time until only 1 billion is left. Is that correct? If so, what's the time frame on that? How is it going to work when, for example, Wonderland alone has 2 billion tokens?
Okay, the whole idea of this buyback and burn is to make sure that the supply goes down, so that the scarcity, there's always demand and the price rises. Yes, and yes, it's correct. There is a buyback and burn up to 90%, and there's going to be like 1 billion left. But the time frame is very hard to predict, because everybody started this burning system. You can see even Binance, for example. Binance started their burn in 2018, and right now they are going on the 17th or 18th burn, and still initially they used to burn a lot of tokens because the price of the token was around $8 or $10. Today the value of Binance coin is around $350. They spent $500 million to burn just 1 million tokens. So yes, so it's going to be a inverted curve, so it's going to be like the more the value of the token goes up, so even the more fees that we generate. So if, for example, today, if you a few days ago, I looked at the cricket game happening on Betfair. $120 million was a matched bet volume in Betfair on one of the Indian IPL cricket league. So probably they would have made like 2-3% of that total volume, based on after the fees and taxes and everything. So similarly, when our Betswap gets us the volume and more people are placing a bet and more volume gets matched, we are taking a 1.5% fee, and 1/3 of that we are using to buy back the token and burn. So this is going to have it's a very long process. I cannot give a specific timeline for that when it will happen, but eventually when we start, we will have a burn like every quarterly burn. Whatever we generate, we will, as you previously addressed, like we will be listing out all the profits that we generated. So out of that, a certain portion will go and it will go for a burn. Yep.
Okay. Is there any utility to the token apart from voting rights and reduced fees on the platform?
Yes, actually, initially when we launched, that was the one which we launched with. But later on, there are a lot of suggestion from the community. We are adding a lot. For example, as I mentioned to you, we are adding some games like BSGG game sections where those games can be only played with our Betswap tokens. It's not cannot be played with any other other currencies or something like that. And also, I previously mentioned to you there are two NFT games. Wanted to collaborate with us and they wanted to add the betting element to it. So even those two NFT games, if you want to go and bet on them, you have to use BSH token. So you cannot be using USDT or something like that. So which means that even their community has to come and buy our tokens. So yes, we are trying to create more utility around it. This is just the beginning. We wanted to create more, and also there was one of the community members suggested us to run a subnet chain on AVAX, so and use the BSC as a gas price. That was amazing. Thank you for the suggestion. We are also looking into this kind of things. Yes, it's not just going to be only a utility for governance. That was initially when we launched it. That was the plan, but right now we evolved a lot. But we have to thanks to the community. They gave us a lot of ideas, a lot of suggestions. And as you ask how the Wonderland community can help us, please feel free to give us more suggestions, and that will give us a more thought process for us to come out a much better product.
That's good. Okay, so why is the 365-day staking APY different between Ethereum and Avalanche networks?
Come again, sorry.
Why
Can you
is
repeat?
Why is the 365-day staking APY different between Ethereum and Avalanche networks?
Okay. So in terms of allocation, so where do we bring this funds at the moment? See, currently we are not generating profits, right? We are still in the the stage of launching the mainnet product. So currently, what we did in our tokenomics, we had like 20% of the the tokenomic, we call it ecosystem reward. We left it aside and we kept some tokens aside for giving us the staking pools and incentivizing the community till the product is launched, till we take off. Because we are a startup, we are not just like any we need some time to build the product, get the right team, hire the right people. Like you can see, Martin joined us from Betfair. He bought few more Betfair people on board, so we need some time to grow. So meanwhile we start generating income and we start revenue and take off, we need to put something from our ecosystem token. So we have like 2 billion tokens. Out of that, certain amount of that we are putting into the pools, like multiple pools. So yes, so we kept some on ETH, some on AVAX. So that's the reason why there's a small difference between here and there. But eventually, it is not the fixed one. It always changes. So probably after we go live in another 2-3 months, you may see it more. It's not a fixed number. It can be a flexible number for now to start with.
Okay.
Yep.
Moving on to questions about product. Is there any other platform like Betswap.gg already, or will this be the first betting platform like this with its own token?
It's the first one you can see live. Our testnet has been open for many months now. There are a couple of competitors out there. Maybe some people on the call will be familiar with BetDex. They had an AMA last week. I think one of the first AMAs actually. So we listened to what those guys had to say. Maybe some of them are on this call. Who knows? Listen to what we're saying, but they're kind of the main competitor. They're offering a betting exchange. We're led to believe as well. There are a handful of other operators out there in the sports betting space, albeit most of them are sports books, right? So your traditional fixed odds sports books, and some of them are acting like sports books as well. So I'll only say that for now. But we are unique in what we're doing, which probably maybe leads us to the next question. So yeah, we are one of a kind. To be honest, we are one of a kind.
Next question then is, what is Betswap's USP? Why will users switch from established platforms like Betfair to Betswap?
Yeah. I could talk about this for about the whole day, but anyway, I'll try and make it quick enough. I think, look, without stating the obvious, we're decentralized, right? And we're running on chain. I mean, that itself has major benefits, of which there are many. Your funds, your bets are completely secure. And I guess more importantly, you can access your funds at any time. I had an example recently from a very good friend of mine who plays on Betfair for different reasons and had a 5-day waiting time on his withdrawal. I mean, it's completely not acceptable if you're a sports bettor. Let's maybe take somewhere like India as a really, really good example for this. And one of the biggest, Mavic alluded to it earlier on, one of the biggest emerging markets in the world when it comes to sports betting. Actually, every major operator is clamoring at the moment to enter there in any way possible they can. Even people like Entain, who kind of run Ladbrokes, Bwin, and all these big companies, they're hiring for a head of sports in India, for an example. So, but if you look at the Indian market, trust is a major issue. So anybody from India who's on this call, anybody who's familiar with the landscape there, like what those guys do over there is incredible. It's unlike anywhere else I've ever been working in the sense of they withdraw the funds immediately as soon as they win. There's just zero trust in the operator. The operator could be operating for a year or two. They could have withdrawn 100 times before, but they just continue to do it because they don't trust their funds. And with that, they need to wait for their funds. Okay, what will happen is when the funds arrive, sometimes it's a few hours, most of the times it's a few days, they just deposit straight back in straight away. So if you look at someone like us, as soon as your bet is settled, you've got access to your funds immediately. So that immediately gives us an advantage over everybody operating in that particular territory. I mean, as well as everything I've just previously said, there are multiple other reasons as well. I mean, look, I spout this off a few times. So, look, you don't need to be an industry guru to recognize that the sports betting industry is years behind, not months around, but years behind other entertainment industries when it comes to providing customers with choice, variety, and actually fun. Right, that fun's gone out of betting these days. It genuinely has, and I think that's one of the things we're looking to do differently. You only need to look across centralized iGaming operators who all have this talking about innovation. Why is it every single one of them looks the exact same? Okay. Why are customers subject to bet delays? Okay. Why are markets in play suspended, 40-50% of the event? You go to, I won't name any names, but you go to some of the tier 1 operators today on basketball and you struggle to get a bet on, right? You go to football events and it's suspended, a minute, 2 minutes after a goal still. So, why do some events only allow small stakes? Why is there so much tax on cash out? Why do promotions and rewards require so much turnover? The answer to all this is fear, right? So when that was a really good question that was asked. So why will users switch? I mean, I think people are fed up of how they've been treated by centralized operations. I've worked at them and I know how they all operate. They just use the bluntest of protections. Look, we're in another transition right now. So if you think back to sports betting operators who are in the retail world back in the day, they all moved digitally. Some of them struggled to migrate across. We're kind of at that realm again now. We're kind of moving towards Web3 decentralization, and you're going to find there's going to be force mover advantage for people like Betswap, right, who are trying to do things differently. I mean, most bettors are not attending the game they're betting on, right? Often a goal is registered on a betting site before they even see it on the TV. Why would you give someone a bet delay? It just doesn't need it. Now, I'm not saying we won't have bet delays, but some of the things that some of these operators do, it's incredible, I mean, most customers are not spending hours upon hours absorbing promotional terms to exploit loopholes. But actually, everybody gets treated the same way because of it. Look, I said it before, Betswap is not unique in recognizing these headwinds, right? To a much superior customer experience. There are other people out there, but we are unique in creating the technology to do something meaningful about it.
All right, thank you. Okay, next question is, will the BSGG fees be calculated per bet? Will it be a set price per bet or based on cost of bet? Will bets be placed in different currencies and fees paid in BSGG?
I'll take the one. So technically we are having multiple products. As I said, we are going to initially we started with sports betting exchange. So in the sports betting exchange, we wanted to use people to use only one particular currency to bet on is a stable coin, which is like USDT, MIM on USDC. These are the coins we want them to use to bet on because it's stable. Because we want to make sure there's a liquidity of people, matching between them. So we are charging 1.5% fee on on a net profit of the player, and then we are only using the BSGG. If you have it in your wallet, it only give you a discount on it, a small amount of discount to reduce the fee. That's one of the utility. Apart from that, we can also, as I said, we have multiple products we are adding on, like prediction market, we are like games and NFT games and everything. There's going to be different pricing fee that we calculate for each games. Like sports betting 1.5, maybe the tournament engine will go like 5%. It's like different pricing for different products. So ultimate goal is to you will be able to get discount on all of them keeping them in your wallet. And apart from them, the ultimate goal is to generate more revenue and use it to buy back and burn so that eventually there's a scarcity in the market. Yep.
Next question says, I know you have ABLP to help fill in low LP, but what is the APR or APY you are offering to help fill in the LP?
There's a lot of abbreviations there, Alice. Maybe half the audience is kind of wondering what all these abbreviations are. Look, maybe for those who are unaware, the ABLP, and actually Mavic alluded to it earlier on, is the automated bookmaker liquidity pool, which is, so if you think about, I'll give you an example. On most betting exchanges today, they have market makers. Without market makers, you have something like what we call liquidity bots. So basically, it's a mechanic where you seed what we call seed markets with prices and volume being liquidity, right? Like I said, most betting exchanges today, they use market makers. There's different ways you can do it. We'll use market makers as well. But in terms of what the API will be on it, I can't give you a number here and now, right? Because I'll tell you why. So basically, so just to rewind slightly, sorry. So the automated booking liquidity pool, it will give you the ability to be the bookmaker, right? So again, for those who may be sitting here and don't understand the concept of what the betting exchange is, you can bet like you bet on a sports book today, or you can lay. So you can be the house, you can be the bookmaker. And the automated liquidity pool will basically place lots of orders into the sports betting platform, which then allows people to take those orders and place bets. So anybody on this call, for example, can deposit into the ABLP, put their money to work, choose maybe which competitions they want the money to go on, to lay on. Maybe they can choose which events or which markets. That's not there for day one, but it is part of the feature set down the line. So yeah, look, I can't give a number right now, but what I will say is, you will make money. Okay. No, look, there are a couple of other questions maybe coming up which are kind of similarly related to it. So hopefully people kind of now know what the automated liquidity pool, the ABLP, is. Hopefully, it has been mentioned a few times to now. But look, I think it's one to like watch this space, right? Up until recently, we were kind of unable to kind of give some of the yields that were coming on staking. I think this is just another one of these. It's something that will come out, but I think we're a little bit, maybe a number of weeks away from being able to share that type of information.
Okay. Does Betswap need to license certain sports like Formula One in order to create a betting platform for it?
No, we don't. We the data we take from feed providers who have agreements with respective bodies if necessary. There is one challenge. Horse racing is a challenge for us, and requires kind of a separate agreement. So the way the horse racing industry has changed over the years is that each different governing body has their kind of own agreements with respective operators, and you tend to do the deal directly with those guys. So there has been actually quite a number of people I've seen on the Discord and on the Telegram over the last month or two requesting for horse racing, and there's a reason why it's not there, because those deals need to be struck. So just to answer you, no, we don't need any agreements.
Okay. Is the beta launch mainnet going to be the start of actual betting?
You better believe it. Yes, it is. And I think everybody will be cheering and clapping and cracking open the champagne with what I've just said. But yes, it will be. So again, for people not in the know, we have a testnet site at the moment. And Mavic then alluded to it earlier on. We've been running tournaments on there where actually people can make real money. People have made a lot of money from those tournaments, actually. I think we were giving away upwards of 3, maybe 5,000 USTD at some point. So they've been really, really
good. More than that. Totally, we paid out more
than that. Right. We've given away a lot of money. But so it wasn't necessarily real betting as this question is alluding to. But yes, so the plan with mainnet, I think, am I answering it? I'm not gonna. Yeah, so beta launch, we're going to probably look, mid-June. And people might ask, why are you going into beta for mainnet when you have a testnet now? We're adding new features. We talked about the ABLP that we're kind of building out at the moment. There are other feature sets that we're adding as well. That's new code going into the code base. So we need to make sure that when we switch the lights on properly, that people are aware that it's still in the beta version. How long that beta version will take, who knows? There's a reason why obviously we've updated the roadmap to be kind of June, July time, right? I can't sit here and tell you it'll be 2 weeks, it could be 4 weeks. It depends what happens, right? But bear in mind that, our QA process, our development process is very, very strict. So, fingers crossed. But yes, you will be able to place bets and you will be able to earn real money.
Awesome. What are the single most important differences between traditional betting operators versus Betswap in favor of Betswap?
I've kind of answered this one a little bit. Maybe Mavic can put his spin on it because I kind of half answered it earlier on. But Mavic, maybe over to you.
Yeah, okay. There's a I think so. Martin answered most of it. Yeah, since we were running, my previous experiences, I used to run a sportsbook, as I mentioned to you previously. So we do ban people. If somebody is winning a lot, we ban them in the sports betting, traditional sports betting. But an exchange on and like a Betswap, you don't get banned because it's a peer-to-peer. So end of the day, it's the only thing you need to match your volume amount of bet you bet. And normally in a traditional sports book, what they do, they limit you as well. So if you're a good player, you're like, for example, I'll give a live example. We had a situation in the risk team. They were telling that there's one guy, he's keep on making money. How the hell he's making money? Because he's keep on betting on the corners, that the yellow cards on the soccer. So he's exactly predicting number of yellow cards that you can bet on. Like each game will have like 6 or 7 yellow cards or 5 or 6 yellow cards. So he was exactly predicting on that. Out of 10, he gets 7 right. And he was making a killing out of it. He was making like $100,000 per month. And eventually we cannot lose that customer. He's a good customer. At the same time, you need to limit him from not winning much. So this is what a normal sportsbook will do. They will limit you. Or if you are super good, they'll ban you for life. So they will not, and they will send you details. There is something called International Betting, Regulatory Authority, something like that, where they will even upload your KYC details, and it goes to all the other betting providers globally, and they will, whoever subscribes to that can see your data saying that this guy is, a good player. Don't allow him. They don't even let you on board. So, for example, there are some influencers that we spoke to in the betting exchange before when we talked about Betswap. All of these good guys are banned already. They're banned in the big sites like Bet365 and Betfair. They're banned already. They cannot get on board. They said, is there a way that you will ban us? No, we cannot, because it's a smart contract. We don't have control over that. You have a freedom of choice to go in to Betswap and connect your MetaMask wallet or Trust wallet or Wallet Connect, and then place a bet and match your liquidity with whoever it is. I don't know. It can be in China, America, Korea, wherever it is. you're going to place with them, and you are playing peer to peer. So this is the main advantage, freedom of choice, giving them a complete decentralized betting option, giving them full functionality to be acting as a bookmaker or a better. You can bet or you can act as the other side of it.
Yeah. And again, just to reiterate, one of the things I pointed out already, access to your funds immediately. Your funds, we don't hold your funds at all. They're on the contract, they're on the chain, they're sitting there, you can see it. So, there's even people probably on here today who sometimes need to wait. Maybe something happens in an event and you don't get paid. This type of stuff. And again, having to wait, hours or days, and most of the time it's days for your money to come back. Again, that's one of the biggest differences we have on side for us, and which will most likely attract a lot of people to it.
Right. Okay, so who or what system are you using to set odds and spreads?
Okay, maybe for those who don't understand what this is, so what the question is referring to is when you go onto the sports betting exchange, you've got prices, odds on there for each kind of selection and event, right? So, as I mentioned already, most betting exchanges will have market makers who will be using their models to kind of pump the pricing and the liquidity into the exchange. There's pros and cons to using that particular mechanic, particularly for the community. We're not against doing it. We have multiple market makers that we can connect with if necessarily. To answer the question sideways, who or what system will set the pricing? You and I, really, because like we said, you can be the bettor or you can be the layer. You can be the bookie. So you can actually go in and ask what price you want. Okay, so in a very simplistic term, anybody in this call can go on the Champions League match tonight or last night and go, I want, if someone's offering 2.0, I can say I want 2.2 on this particular selection. So it's a mix of active users on the site. We will also have, because we need to have, we will have an underlying seed price, right? So we will have a price feed which we ingest, and that'll make sure that there is activity on the exchange from a price perspective, okay? And then you merge the ABLP with that and you got your liquidity as well. So you got a mix of different components coming together, all right? And look, to be honest, look, I'm kind of half going off track here, but I think it's relevant. And it comes to price. Again, all the vast majority of customers who I've experienced over exchange and sportsbooks over the years, all they really want is to feel that the prices are fair. They genuinely do. And our prices will be fair. I mean, you won't find many customers who are willing to fund a second account somewhere else for an extra $1. If, in return to offer 2.1 instead of 2.0, they just wouldn't, particularly when most betting these days is took place in play, right? And almost across most sports, 80% of all bets are in play today. So, yeah, well, we will have fair pricing. What we'll also be doing is we'll be monitoring how our pricing and how the system is working. So, in terms of, we'll be monitoring metrics like total top price across the entire industry and the entire globe, all exchanges, all sports books, etc., etc. We'll be running simulated liabilities as well. So for those interested in that ABLP, again, we'll have an internal feature where we'll be able to simulate out liabilities, etc., etc., so that we're protecting people as well. And then obviously in relation to this, we'll make sure that our in-play suspension count is very, very high. And there are some exchanges out there that run at 100% uptime. Again, we'll make sure that we're protecting people, but we will run as close to maximum uptime as possible. Make sure that everybody can get a bet when they need to. Now, there's a counter argument of what happens if a goal is cancelled, or what happens if someone's got a faster feed. I mean, it doesn't happen very, very often, okay? And again, we have monitoring tools for things like that. So, yeah, hopefully that kind of covers some of the questions there.
What other forms of betting are in the pipeline other than sports and esports?
Oh, millions. Mavic.
Yeah, I'll take it forward. So yeah, so we have in the sports sections, currently we're getting more than 60 sports from our odds feed provider. So we are only enabled like soccer, like football, American football, like NFL, and we are only activated 5 of the sports. We keep adding on board. The more people come, like next is we are adding NF, like MMA. We're adding Formula One. We're adding esports. We already added it. It's already rolled out. Basketball. So we're adding everything. All the 60 sports that we have. We're happy to, even including politics in the sports section. And then, as I mentioned to you, like we are also adding prediction markets, like options on crypto, like predict the price of Bitcoin going up or down, like options products. And then we're also adding this NFT betting element to it, where 2 of the games, like users can go and bet on the games. Then we are also adding BSGG games, like tournament games. Yeah, so we are going to add multiple type of verticals onto the betting. Yeah.
When will the updated user interface be rolled out? Will it be on testnet first or straight to mainnet beta?
Again, maybe for those not in the know. So as I said, we got a testnet site at the moment. Feel free to check it out. And we are, those who are familiar with the Betswap community are aware that we're kind of upgrading our user interface and our user experience from mainnet. So to answer this particular point, certain features of our so we have ideas of what we want to change and where we need to improve, but what you won't see is a completely new site, right? What you will see is changes, upgrades, improvements, and they are improvements that are being discussed now with the customer group and other people in the community as well for their feedback. So you won't see a fully fledged brand new site for mainnet. But what you will see is a significantly updated and more slick, more user friendly, I guess, user experience and user interface. We've got stuff like stat scores, and we got live scores and all that stuff coming through now, which people have seen on the testnet. So we got loads of really cool features like that.
Awesome. When it comes to social betting, when will we see that in use, and what are we specifically thinking of? Bets of any nature within a certain group of people betting with each other, or any more that you can expand on that?
Social betting. Mavic, do you want to pick this up, or I'm happy to?
Yeah, I think so. They're referring to the social betting means like the people who are not aware of. This is something like it's a copy betting. So when your friend is making a good predictions, you're going to copy them. So technically, yeah, you can stress it out much. And also you can cover on the bet booster, which we have the AI artificial intelligence. Yes, you can think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're introducing certain new features again to help people with betting. We found that stuff like stats and head-to-head stats, and where people tend to go to other sources for. I won't name any websites, but we're going to make sure that this is kind of a one-stop shop for everybody. Just on the social betting of it, if you want to call this social, we are introducing contests or tournaments down the line over the next few months as well. And one of the great features of that particular product is that you can actually see what other people are betting on in the same tournament or contest that you're in. And actually, nobody in the iGaming sports betting sphere offers a product like that today. So going back to the USP piece, it's definitely an advantage we'll have as well.
Okay. Please discuss the 3 biggest things you changed about the Betswap user interface to make it as easy and user-friendly as possible to post-mainnet launch.
I have answered it already.
Yeah.
So it's kind of linked. I kind of maybe elaborated too much on my previous answers. Apologies. No, I guess one of the biggest ones is the stats score stuff. I really like the feedback on this has been incredible. So for those who don't know what it is, it's basically play-by-play information. So look, if you go to Bet365 or any of the big kind of centralized tier 1 operators, you go to an event and you'll kind of see, it's called data visualization is another term for it, okay? And again, in there, you kind of see live stats and all this type of stuff. We have that implemented now. So I think that's a really big addition and has been very, very welcomed by everybody. I guess the second point I'd like to probably allude to mention would be responsible gambling. Okay, so putting a big emphasis on this, and I know there was someone that, listen, guys, we had unbelievable amount of questions. I mean, we'd be here till midnight. Actually, sorry, I'm in UK time, which is 7 o'clock at the moment, PM. We genuinely would be here till midnight if we went through every single question. But there was a couple of questions around responsible gambling, and hopefully the people, if they're on the call, who ask those questions, believe me, we will respond to every single question that has been raised as well on the Discords. But responsible gambling is really key for us as well. So introducing limits, self-exclusion, timeouts, this type of stuff, again, very important to us. So kind of the two biggest things I'd say, and again, I alluded to some of the other ones like tournaments and this type of stuff.
Right. On a strategic level, which of the following two directions do you lean the most towards? One being focusing on a handful of high-performing sports already proven within traditional Web 2 betting, or aiming for the widest potential range of different sports available on Betswap by only focusing on the highest ranked leagues for each sport?
Okay, it's a really quick answer, actually, this one. So, neither. Like, it's dependent on the community's having a big effect on what we offer, believe it or not. They genuinely are, you know? So, if the community wants a particular sport, or if we move into a particular, or we start to target a particular, so if our marketing team or biz dev team go away and think, right, we want to try now and target this particular area. I won't name any particular territories, but it's probably likely we'd need to introduce competitions and sports that are particularly popular in that particular territory. Again, I'm just throwing India out there as an example, right? Outside of cricket is the biggest sport in India today by 95% of all bets are on cricket. Actually, kabaddi is really, really big as well. So we don't have kabaddi, but again, if we were targeting somewhere like India, we'd need to introduce a sport like kabaddi. When it comes to soccer events, I think the question, the person who asked the question was asking around, will you have the highest ranked leads only? I mean, again, it depends on appetite, right? And obviously there is a risk with some of those kind of lower tier tournaments in some of those more obscure countries. But it'll be about demand.
Okay. Will there be training videos on how to set up bets and bet strategies?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So we are just making a lot of tutorial videos to educating users, like new users, what is sports betting, and actually it's like how actually there are some hedge funds even running in UK with the sports betting exchanges. It's like kind of a trading. So we educate them how to place a bet, how to take a bet on the other side as a bookmaker, and of course there are price trading mechanism where people don't even look at the outcome of the game. Some people just only trade the prices. Like they buy in and then they exit the price. They don't even know whether who wins or lost. They just look into. There are some strategies in the sports betting exchange. Yes, we are making some tutorial videos and it will be out soon in multiple languages like English, Russian, Portuguese, German, multiple languages. Yes, they are under production. So they will come live as towards the mainnet. Yeah.
Great. All right, this is the last pre-submitted question we have here. Based on testnet feedback so far, how confident is the team with mainnet beta launch for June or July? Is there any anticipated production release date?
I've half answered this one again, kind of throughout the question. So there's no official production release date. I guess we probably will announce one when we feel comfortable that the beta mainnet is in a position to be kind of fully switched on and active, if you want. So look, all I can say is we're kind of on track for that. We've got a lot of work to do still. I don't know if the guys had appreciated me coming in or not. Hopefully they have, but I've come in with a lot of stuff that needs to be done. A lot of stuff was on the roadmap already, but our tech team, our dev team's working really well at the moment. I think they hate me, but that's not a bad thing. That's fine. I'm happy to be the most hated person if everything gets delivered. So yes, we don't have an actual release date, but you can look at June and July as being when we'll be up and running.
The main reason that we are not setting up the exact date is like we are waiting for certain, like we consider the security as the highest priority. Apart from the product being one thing, we want to make sure that it's completely tested with penetration testing and make sure that it's hack proof. You can see there's a lot of hacks happening recently. Even the Axie Infinity $625 million getting hacked, and we don't want to have we come on board like a mainnet and boom, we are in a hurry to launch it, and now all of a sudden that we get some kind of like a flaw that is hurting us, because this is a smart contract. There's a lot of funds are going to be locked in, so this is a high risk. So that's why we are looking at really doing we are engaging some 2-3 top companies in the industry to come in, and they have the dates. They give us the dates only they're pushing our dates. They're saying like we are only available after 1 month, 2 months, something like that. So this is the reason that actually mainly it's keep pushing the mainnet launch apart from the product itself, because currently there is a test net live. You can go play it right now. The product is there, but if we are not implementing the real cash, that's because of we are, apart from what Martin was mentioning, there are a lot of features development going at the background, where you can see the front end look and everything. Apart from that, the main core functionality that I look into is the security of the protocol and security of everything, so that it's hack proofable. I just make sure that it's very strong, penetration tested already. Bounty hunters are paid well to come and test it, and there'll be like bounty programs will be, if there is any hackers here, there will be a couple of bounty programs will be announced soon in the month of May to come in and test us and make sure that we are solid proof before we go to mainnet launch. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I don't know what your time is like. If you have time to take any additional questions from the audience.
Yeah. We've used everybody's time. So maybe we should apologize for taking an hour, but hopefully everybody has enjoyed it. So I got some more information. Yeah, now let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be inviting up people from the audience at this point. If you'd like to raise your hand to participate, we'll bring up one person at a time. We ask that you just ask one question each, please, so that we can take as many different people from the audience as possible. So moderators, if you want to bring up the first guest, and then you can introduce yourself once you're up on the stage. We have Red Panda here.
Hey guys, thank you so much for inviting me up. You can hear me okay?
I can indeed, yeah.
So I have been running a betting syndicate in the USA for a long time, so I'm kind of more interested in how the USA is doing a lot of the sports betting stuff. So excuse me if there's some division there. It seems like you guys are much more focused on how the European betting models are done. But in the US, the main problem that exchanges are having to be popular is that there's no liquidity there, because you don't have market makers that are providing liquidity in all the diverse markets, right? So you guys are saying that you're becoming a peer-to-peer betting exchange. The main problem comes when a big syndicate like us wants to bet the under in the Miami Heat game, under 220 points scored, and we want to bet $20,000 on that bet, but there's not enough liquidity from individual peers that are betting $50, $60, $70 on the over to match. So the problems that they are having is that they are having a hard time having enough liquidity to satiate those bigger bettors to be able to match their bets. So I'm asking, how are you guys tackling that problem? Because it seems to me like that's a very big problem that these decentralized betting platforms are having, and I would love to hear how you guys think about this and how you guys are tackling such issues. Thank you.
So thanks for the question, and it's a very good point. And listen, it's not just in the decentralized world. Obviously, in the centralized world, liquidity, there's a reason why Betfair are the biggest, right? I mean, I can reference some of the other centralized operations like Matchbook, S Markets, BetDAC, these types of people. You look at their liquidity overall, it's really, really low. They haven't grown over the years, and liquidity has always been a problem. And don't get me wrong, and we called it out earlier on, that liquidity is a challenge, okay? And we're very, very much aware of it. I think it's one of the reasons why we've built the ABLP. Now, listen, I can't sit here and tell you the ABLP will solve your problems. That's not the case. But we will be able to cater. We want to be able to cater for everybody. So there are market makers out there who will match your bet, definitely. And I know them personally. So and not just me. There are people within the group and the network of Betswap who are connected to some of the biggest market makers out there. So getting those guys in to match a bet, I can't tell you next week they'll be there, but yeah, listen, we're under no illusion that liquidity is a big challenge, and it is. If you look at the list that we have, it's right up there at the very top of how to solve those problems.
Also, one more thing which I would like to stress here, Martin, that we are also like looking into a B2B play. So we are not just only going into like Red Panda was mentioned, like peer to peer. Yes, we are doing peer to peer, but also we are facilitating even some of the big Web 2.0 companies. Like they came in and they wanted to be a market maker. So as an exchange, that's a problem that you are facing is because of the boundary. As you said, as you mentioned that in the American market, yes, the American market, there's a less awareness of the exchange model. That's one thing. And then that's why in UK market, if you see the Betfair, the volumes are high, where in American market, that exchanges like S market, I think, so they're operating in the US. I think so even their volumes are very low because they are not much aware of what is the lay bet is and the lack of knowledge into the lay bets side of it. Apart from that, yes, we are not only one is the ABPL pool, as Martin was mentioning, where people are providing a lot of liquidity in the pool that will automatically match these bets. So you don't need to sit and wait for somebody to come and match manually. Apart from that, we are also getting a lot of requests from the traditional bookmakers, like a big ones. They wanted to come in and they wanted to use our technology. They wanted, because for them there's a boundary, because they are regulated. They have a license. They have only allowed to do in particular state. They can only do within particular boundary. But when you are a web 2 3.0, we have that globally anybody can access it by connecting MetaMask wallet. So that gives them that kind of freedom. They wanted to integrate with us and they wanted to use our system and technology and skin it in their own platform. But end of the day, it all comes to the same pool. So we don't see it as a challenge as well.
And just one thing to final, Red Panda, if you want to reach out to me, we're more than happy to catch up and have a chat on this in more detail if you'd like to.
100%. Let's do that. Let's just get more people here. But I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
No problem, man. Thanks for your time.
All right, let's take our next question.
That was a great question, by the way. Very good question.
Right
no
now
pressure,
we have
Joe. No pressure on you.
Battle Joe here. Welcome. You're muted, just so you know.
Hi guys, nice to hear from y'all. Great AMA.
Hey Joe, thanks, man.
Hey guys, I've been in and out because I'm at work, but I would just say, what's been the consensus on just moving forward from some of the stuff you guys have dealt with over the past, 5-6 months? Everything that went on with the Wonderland stuff. I mean, what's been the consensus moving forward with a project like this, and kind of shifting gears to something of this magnitude compared to what was worked on in the past?
I will take on it. See, what happened with Wonderland and everything, I understand it happened. So it's nothing like talking about the past, and we cannot, end of the day, we are very thankful to Wonderland because they funded us. They are not only the only funders that we have. We also have Shima Capital. We also have a couple of other investors who put in with us. See, even not only us, they also funded Cross the Ages. Am I right? So Wonderland also funded Cross the Ages, and Cross the Ages also was funded by multiple VCs. So we are one of the projects underneath Wonderland. But yes, it impacted us. What happened was, like, when all this happened, some of the people from the community came into our Discord. They were venting out their angers to us. And then we was like, come on, guys, we are we are our own startup, and we are having our own dream and own visions, and we have our own platform. Yes, they are our investors. Few people come on board and they had showed their angers to us, and we educated them. We told them. Some people were really going ballistic on us, and then we banned them as well. So yes, this is something which pulled us down a bit, but we don't see it as the only challenge that is going to hurt us. No. Because end of the day, a betting market is something big. See, Wonderland had a community of DeFi and crypto, but our audience, we are not only targeting this particular audience, okay? We are targeting a global audience. There are statistics shows there are 2 billion gamblers globally who is playing in sports betting, casinos, lottery, any form of gambling they are betting on. That's a huge, total addressable market that we have. And out of that, none of these people ever heard about even Wonderland, or even they don't even know what is DeFi, or they don't even know, some people don't even know what is crypto. So we have like different personas that we are targeting. We are targeting somebody who is crypto friend, people who know how to use crypto and who know sports betting. And there are some community people who doesn't know what is crypto at all, but they are sports gamblers, and that's a huge community as well. So we are educating them how to onboard like a ramp on, ramp off solutions. Where we are trying to integrate it, and we look it into much bigger pictures into marketing and onboarding them, rather than only looking into one small community of like a DeFi community was there. Even not only with Wonderland, even after that, suddenly something happened with the Phantom, right? So after a few weeks, a few months, and suddenly Phantom had a big crash right now. They are having a tough times, and they are having some big mess around them. So that's a problem with we don't want to look into that's going to affect us or pull us down. We are looking into a very long-term picture. And as I told you, my previous background is from the sports betting background. So I used to run a sports book, and I used to have more than like 300,000 users back then when I sold that company. So I don't see only this will pull us down, but we have a bigger marketing budget to go globally and attract all the sports gamblers to come and use our platform. I hope this answers your battle, Joe, or do you have anything question?
Excellent. No, I mean, that's great insight. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you. Let's pull the next person up on stage.
Just a quick one before we do. When are we doing the 10 people? Is that after the call or during the call, or?
Our team is taking down a list of the participants, and they're gonna select some winners afterwards.
Right. Okay.
We have Spidey here with us now. Hello, Spidey.
Hi guys, thanks for doing this AMA. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Spidey. Nice to meet you.
This one's kind of a simple question. A lot of the people I know involved with sports betting, DraftKings and all that, they mainly bet from their phones, kind of like a mobile app experience. I don't know a ton of people that use their laptops, which you kind of need to use for MetaMask to connect to your wallet and all that. So I'm kind of wondering what your guys' plans are to work around that and maybe get more of a mobile experience going forward.
Yeah, the answer is...
One second, Miko, before you go in, I will just like to barge in. So currently, we already have, if you go to the MetaMask wallet, underneath that there's something called browser, and you can click it, and currently most of the volume that we get is from mobile. So yes, Martin, you can carry on from here.
You took the words out of my mouth. So yeah, Spidey, in MetaMask on mobile, there's a browser functionality, and you go in there and stick in testnet.betswap.gg, and you'll get the mobile application. There is no actual mobile application on the Google the Play stores at the moment, but yeah,
that's
you can access
it through mobile. That's because in order to do that, if you want to go to Apple or Google, they will ask you to have a corporate structure. They wanted to know, a legal structure. They wanted to have everything. And second thing is, even for the Web 2.0 companies, like for example, you said DraftKings, right? So DraftKings has a mobile app, but only in certain states. They are not allowed to, for example, you cannot download a DraftKings if you are sitting in other non-jurisdictional. So Apple itself will block it, because Apple itself will ask, App Store will ask you a license, especially for sports betting website. They'll ask you the license, which country and which jurisdiction you're going to cover. Only in that particular market you are able to download it. So there's no global solution for a sports betting website to be globally there anywhere. So that's where, and also not only with us, any DeFi dApps, if you look into, for example, even if you take Uniswap or SushiSwap, these are the apps, like we call it dApps, decentralized apps. They cannot have Apple or a Google Play App Store, because they have to go through that centralized process and the whole thing. So that's why everybody is connecting to MetaMask, and MetaMask has the browser extension. You go in and you can connect and you can play in. Even right now, even in a testnet, we are seeing that most of the traffic is coming from mobile, like 80% coming from mobile. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I didn't know it had that mobile capability. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, check it out and let us know how it went.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right, let's pull up another audience member. All right, we have Crypto Fit here with us now. Oh, a couple people here now. Let's start with Crypto Fit. We'll bring you back up in a moment. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
It's been a great AMA. So nice hearing everybody and great information. Very excited. Just wanted to, and then some of my questions were already asked and answered, but I just wanted to know, as a non-gambler, I am interested to know, like, I don't trust gambling on site, on the internet, because I just don't trust them. But because we're part of Betswap or invested in Betswap, would it be a link posted on Wonderland so we know it's safe, we know it's secure, and we can just get on and, explore and play around?
Yeah, see, you said that you don't trust any betting website. Why? May I know why? Why don't you trust it in first place?
Because I've never done it before. It
So
just
that's a
a new
problem.
experience.
That is the first problem that we are trying to solve here. So if you are aware of how the smart contract works, so see, that's the first problem. As you know, Martin was mentioning at the first place is a proof of trust. Even he was mentioning about the Indian market. Nobody trusts, especially in the Indian market. They don't even trust any betting websites because they know most of them have, unless until they're regulated, most of them who are, especially in the Indian market, most of them are not regulated. So what happens is like you may put in and you may win, and they don't even pay you. They will say bye-bye, or they will even block you. Understand? They'll say that they will not give you your money back. So that is the first problem that we are trying to solve here using smart contract. Because how the smart contract works is, so when you have your cryptocurrency, whatever, like USDT in your MetaMask wallet, you are just connecting with, interacting with the betting smart contract, and you are placing a bet, and it's going to sit on an order book. Like how you go to Binance and you buy a Bitcoin for $50,000, you're going to place a limit order. It's going to sit there. It's not going to be matched yet until somebody comes and sell it to you. The same way, you're going to say that, let's say Manchester United team is going to win, and I want to think that this team will win, and I make a price of 2x. So you put a 2 and you put $100, and your bet is going to sit there until somebody is going to come and match your bet, and then it decides whoever is the winner. Let's say Manchester won, you are supposed to get $200, right? So the smart contract is going to pay you directly to your wallet. So we are not, as a Betswap, touching your funds, or we are not even having access to your funds. So this is the first question you asked. You told us like you don't trust any betting website because you're sending money to their bank account, and you don't know whether they're going to pay you back or not. So this is the first problem that we are going to solving here in Betswap. To answer you.
Sounds good. But then again, if there is a direct link on the server, on Wonderland server, it just a lot of us have easier access that way, don't you think?
You mean you wanted a link directly access to Betswap link? You mean like to the website?
That's right, yes.
Sure, why not? Definitely Alice will be happy to do that. Am I right, Alice?
Pass the word along.
Thank you.
Thank you, CryptoFit. All right, let's invite up Meta Yogi. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
Oh.
So
Hi.
So Mavic, I think you just explained that okay, even if we're having trust, and because this is something new, like I am in crypto, like as a my preference is towards like this DeFi and crypto only. So now you are bringing this what to say? This is not like we usually do in crypto, but now you are bringing is this in. So like right now, you know the condition of Wonderland, and we already why most of the fund is already liquidated. So how we make a good money with this? Like, oh, okay, we'll go with this betting, and how these things really work. Like for whom we are going to do this. So can you just please explain if I missed something?
See, Meta Yogi, I still didn't get your question. I understand that you said some problems, but you didn't tell me exactly what is your question again. Like your concern is that like how the Betswap is going to outperform, or how it's you're going to use it to bet it, or like can you just elaborate it again? It'll be very clear for me to answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, see, like how, like for whom we going to do all this betting? Like, what is you guys are bringing up in this betting?
See,
Like, for whom we are
okay,
going to bet?
well, I think so. You need to understand a little bit more story about us. The reason that we started this, as I think so, you joined in the middle of the call or something. The whole idea here is to create a decentralized betting community, so where users can bet peer to peer instead of going and betting. For example, Meta Yogi, if you don't mind, where are you from? Where are you based out of?
I'm from India.
Okay, India. So in India, normally what happens right now is there is no any people from India either using Bet365, Betway, or they're going to the Indian bookies who are running the betting. You understand? For cricket, for example, right now there's a IPL happening. Am I right? So IPL is
Yes,
one of the
yes.
most popular game right now. Yes. Currently, what they're doing is right now they're going to this. Like either they go to Bet365 if they had a debit card, because I know in India you have two type of debit cards. One is international, you can transfer fund. One is within the country alone. They don't allow you to use any international website, and that too, if it is a betting website, they'll automatically get banned. You cannot even transfer the funds out of India in the first place. So what they do, they have no choice. They have to only bet with these local bookies. In local bookies, some are good players, good actors, and some are very bad actors. There are some goons behind it. They are like some mafias are running them. So maybe they go on, they play in, they ask some credits, and they cannot play. There are so many things can happen in an unregulated market. So when a Betswap is there, it's completely a peer-to-peer, as I was explaining to previously. The crypto fit, I was saying that it's trustless. You can go connect your wallet, you can place a bet, you can match a bet, and you can take a bet. So how do you make money? That is up to you. You can act as a bookmaker, or you can bet and you can earn, or you can buy our token and just simple on it. So where eventually the price, our ultimate goal is to make sure that the price of the bets are going up. That's the whole agenda, where we are creating all this whole platform and creating a business out of it. Because usually when we launched the project, we didn't look into, there are some products only the coin is based on some hype. They try to build the whole project based on a hype. For example, I can give you Shiba Inu or a doggy coin. The Elon Musk came and tweeted it, and all of a sudden the coin price went to 70 cents. Right now it is trading around 19 cents because the hype died out, and now nobody know what to do. But if you want a very long-term business, if you wanted to see a long-term investment, the coin should have both. Coin should have a hype, and also it should have a real business backing it. So even if, for example, I used to do Bitcoin mining in 2016, 17, and then in 18, everything crashed. It price went to $3,000. And then next 2 years, people are looking at anybody from the crypto industry as a culprit, or somebody, doing some shady business. And all of a sudden in 2020, the market went up. All of a sudden, the whole community came back. Oh, wow, it's amazing. So same thing, when the crypto is doing well, everybody supports it. When the crypto goes down, the community says, oh, it's not a good for me. So that's why we thought of, make sure that we build a product, we build a coin that is actually having a business behind it. Also, we need to have a hype around it to, make it more marketable. So this is how we plan to go forward, to answer your question.
Really appreciating. One short thing I wanted to know, because right now we are in like a kind of bearish market. So would you think this is going to affect this product? Because it's not
Hey,
been started yet.
honestly, for me, bear market is very good, because this is the time people actually open their mind and listen to ideas like this. Before that, honestly, even if we spend on marketing budget before, it was like shouting in the air, because before all the people were only jumping behind some, I'm sorry to say this, a productless or baseless, the hype. They were behind it because it was a bull market. Everybody's closed eye. Everybody's making money in the bull market, right? So every Tom, Dick, Harry will make money in bull market. That's no brainer. But when the bear market comes, that's the time people actually start to listen. Okay, what is this behind? What is this product? Is it having a backing? It is having a product. People start to do more research in the bear market. So it is good for us. For Betswap, bear market is the best for us, because it gives us time to build. It gives us people to actually, more people are understanding the real product behind it, and they are coming to us. That's what Martin was mentioning. Our day by day, our numbers are growing because people are understanding what is really behind it. Okay, so there's a business model behind it. Okay, fine, there's a burn function. Okay, if you guys are making money, so technically you're using some of your portion to buy back the tokens and burn. So eventually there's some kind of a safe kind of a way to pump the price, not just only on a hype. You understand? So that's what we are looking into it. For us, bear market is good for us.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. Really appreciating.
Thank you for your question. Let's invite up the next audience member. 2000, welcome.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, my friend. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
You enjoyed the last hour?
Oh yeah, it's been a great AMA. Really loving
Man.
it. I'm excited for this. I didn't know much about the project. Of course, Wonderland and Daniele Sestigali brought the attention to this project through Wonderland. My question is Daniele still involved in this project in any way other than maybe just owning some BSGG tokens?
So currently, Daniele, as you know, the Wonderland, we are hosting in the server. You're talking to the server. Of course, they are our investors. They are only our investors. Apart from that, there is no involvement. Apart from that, they give suggestions like, use Phantom Chain and a couple of other things. They give suggestions. We take them. That's it. But apart from that, there is no any involvement or any direct involvement into the project yet. No.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
The team is managed by me, and I have Max, and I have our blockchain head. He's an ex-Ethereum guy. He worked with Vitalik himself. So he's our blockchain guy. That's why he takes things very slowly, considering the blockchain space. And then we have Martin, which is like from Betfair. We have one more guy from Betfair as well. So we are pretty much our own team as well. So they are just investor holding tokens, and they are very supportive to us. And they give suggestions, and we take the suggestions. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. That's a great thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's see who else we have.
Maybe
Still have time for more questions?
Yeah, we'll have a few more. Yeah, if there's people there, I'm happy to stay anyway if everybody wants to ask a question. If I can answer, I'll try.
Okay, great. Let's see who else we can invite up.
We got the big football game starting in about 20 minutes, so maybe we might need to cut it short then.
So we got 2 people up here. Hang on, let's do one at a time. Okay, first we'll start with Yumi is a rat. Oops, and we have another person up here.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Ask your question.
Hey guys. I apologize if this question was already answered, but are you familiar with the red light gasless blockchain?
Sorry, come again. What is that?
Are you familiar with the red light gasless blockchain?
Red light gasless blockchain. No, not it. I'm just Googling it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I guess that's it.
Do you want to give us a 20-second sales pitch? What should we know?
Oh, it was they're making a blockchain where you pay no gas. So I was just wondering if like your opinion on that, and like are you planning to use something like that? Or?
So if you're looking at something like a gasless, you mean like gas is being consumed by the protocol rather than the user, right?
Yeah.
So then there is something like called Biconomy. I think so. They are also our. We are very close to them. I think so. Biconomy is already listed in Binance and all this stuff. They already done it. For that. We are speaking to them as well for some of the games that we have it to be gasless. Yes. Yeah. So let me give you. You can look into Biconomy. They are already there listed in Binance, and they already done the product. So you can look into them. They are the alternative for what you're saying. Yeah, Biconomy, exactly. Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'll check it out. Okay, that's it for me.
All right. Let's invite up the next person. Raimu, welcome.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Have you done any research into like private blockchains, like Darrow Network or Secret Network, like smart contract?
You mean like Hedra, like for example, HBAR. Hedra is a private blockchain as well. Yeah. We know them. We are speaking to them, so we know the founders, and they came to our parties, and we are talking to them. But that is not our focus at the moment, because currently we want the users to use public blockchain, because public blockchain is where the decentralization is. Because private blockchain is more when we are looking into more for private corporates. Because when I went to their one of their parties, they had it, the Hedra, all are like corporates, like Microsoft and these guys. So I don't even see, they're not even talking about decentralization or nothing. So end of the day, we need to have a decentralization, because if it's a private blockchain, you can easily shut it down. Then what's the point of, if it is shuttable, then what's the point of getting to decentralization?
Well, I mean, like the blockchains that are more like zero knowledge proof proof type blockchains that will, I mean, still decentralized, but it's just.
I will be honestly saying that it's just like the word decentralization is just a marketing buzz they're using. But actually, if you go beneath the layer, because my blockchain head of my company he's ex Ethereum. He actually worked with Italic to build the Ethereum network. He was one of the initial programmers with them. Understand? So when he normally looks into most of the blockchain, he says they are centralized. Most of them, because there are some people, they're using the word zero knowledge because these are the marketing buzzwords. But actually, when you dig deep as a code level, you understand, they are centralized. So yes, many of us, we think that most of the blockchain are decentralized, but they are not. They're not at all. So yes, so we look into really decentralized so that we are not, because end of the day we are a sports betting platform. We need to sit on a decentralized platform because tomorrow if we grow big, there's going to be, as we talked about, the regulatory risk, right? Some people will try to shut us down through, if we are only on a single blockchain and if we are there, they will easily can shut us down. But if you are in a decentralized blockchain, it's unstoppable. That's what we care about. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, but in the future, it could come up as the technology grows.
For sure, there is technology. There's a lot of. Even recently, we spoke to something called Boba Network. There are so many things coming up. Of course, we're keeping our eyes open. That's why we built as an EVM. We are not just sticking to one particular network. So like unless we see some of our competitors are building on Solana only. But we are being an EVM because we can just migrate the chain between today Polygon, tomorrow AVAX, or if something comes super cool with 1 million transactions per second, highly decentralized, you never know. We have to be able to migrate it. And we should not be native to one blockchain. Any project that we build should be like migratable, should be like, in multiple chains rather than sticking to one chain. So that is what we think about in the long-term future here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, just keep it as mobile as possible. And yeah, I think it's a really good project. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Mr. Raimu. We have time for one more question, so let's bring up one more person.
No, it's fine, Alice. We can go with a couple of questions. I have some time, no problem. Let's make sure that people are satisfied. Yeah.
Hi guys. How are you?
Hey, welcome, Bitco.
I have one question and one thing that could be interesting for the project. First one, and I don't know if this can be answered here. I participated on the Betswap pre-sale, second tranche private sale, and I was wondering, when does the 3% monthly vesting will begin to roll? That's the question that I have. The other thing is that I work for business development for Multi-Farm Fine, and our current product is Treasure Dashboards. We just developed Olympus DAO Treasure Dashboard. We are also developing Redacted Cartel Treasure Dashboard and so on. I believe it could be a very interesting product for Betswap, and I would like to have contact with any of your teams that we could get together, set up a call between our teams.
Yeah, sure. If you want to collaborate with us, feel free to always email us at our website called connect@betswap.gg, which is already there on the website. You can just whatever, one of our team member will respond to you. And in terms of if you are a part of a pre-sale, and then it's already mentioned into the it'll be from the third month from the day of vesting. So we started the vesting from the 3 months of lockup, and then after that there's a linear release of 3% month on month. Yeah, so it's already, I think so. If you're already there, you can go and check it on. If you're one of the person who have participated in the pre-sale, then you can go to a website called investor.betswap.gg, and you can go and you can put your wallet address. You can automatically see every details. It's transparent. It's on the blockchain already. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, who else do we have here?
Hi,
Brave. Hi, we hear you. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Brave.
you for
I
having
like your German. Yeah.
I'll be brief. You mentioned betting on Bitcoin. Couldn't a whale or a group of whales bet it's going to go up and then simultaneously pump it accordingly?
Come again. You're talking about prediction market?
Bitcoin. Couldn't a whale or a group of whales bet it's going to go up and then simultaneously pump it at the same time?
You're talking about like a normal trading in Bitcoin, or you're talking about in Betswap? You don't use Bitcoin to bet on Betswap. It's because you're using stable coin like USDT. So we don't have.
Okay. Somebody mentioned that that you could bet if Bitcoin was going to go up or down.
Okay, that's a prediction market. So I was talking about right now we have a section called Sports Betting Exchange, correct? So where you can choose all the sports. Then we are adding a new section called Prediction Market. So that is like a tab, like on a navigation bar. You click on that, and it will let you to open. For example, if you're very familiar with Augur, Polymarket, these are like existing prediction market platforms where people are using to predict. See, there are two ways. You can go buy the coin and you can hold on to it, or you can go play option trading. You know what is option trading? It's like for next 1 hour, I will say we will have a bet like what's going to happen if let's say right now the Bitcoin price is $40,000. From the 40,000 as a strike price, what's going to happen? Like after next 1 hour, it's going to go up. Even if it's $40,001, you win. If it is 39,999, you lose. You understand? It's kind of like option betting. So
yes.
People who knows options, they know this thing. Kind of like there's expiry time. There is like 1 hour. They can go in. People can say yes. Some people say no. So technically, it's a peer-to-peer option trading. Yeah. So when I say that there's no whales to come and pump it here, because if you want a whale to come and pump, they have to do an exchange like Binance or something. There they can go and pump it up. But this is an option. If some whale is coming and putting all the money in yes, it's good for the guy who says no. You know why? Because if you lose, all the money comes to you. So
okay.
There's no way they can manipulate the price here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned about, manipulation. Okay, thank you.
No, this is the option betting. This is different. This is totally different.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's invite someone else up now. We have Dip again. We can hear you now. Welcome, Dip.
Hey, Mikos. Good to hear a fellow Irish boy involved in crypto.
How are you, Dave? Good to hear from you. Where are you from?
Even though we don't like the dubs. That's one thing.
Yeah,
but let me ask you, boys, in relation to getting investment from Wonderland, I'm curious how it came about, and we're all very much aware of the fact that the Shifu fiasco with Wonderland. How did you guys come to meet him, one, as treasury manager? And second part of the question was mentioned by Maverick that some of the tier one platforms are looking to come in at the back end to supply money for areas that either states or countries that they can't get involved in. How is that going to come about, and will it be divulged as to who exactly the investors are?
The first question is, honestly, when we got introduced to Wonderland, I think so Shifu was already a treasury manager, so we don't know how did Shifu became a treasury manager. Wonderland, this question you should ask to Daniele. Honestly, we have zero knowledge on that. So we got introduced to Wonderland through one of our advisor. So our advisor, you can see on our white paper, Mr. Hubertus, he's already doxed, and he was a chairman of Tezos Foundation. If you know, Tezos is one of the top 20 coins, I think so, right? I think so today. So he introduced us to Wonderland, and then Wonderland showed interest on our project. They invested in it. So when we entered with Wonderland in partnership, we only met Daniele. We never met Shifu. We don't know who is Shifu. But after that, we met Shifu, of course, later on when there was a transaction happen. So he was a treasury manager. So he has to meet us and ask a question on what is the price and everything. So we negotiated with him and the final pricing. And then he pressed the button on transferring the funds to us. So apart from that, we have zero knowledge on who was Sifu, or we just thought he's a treasury manager, but actually we only know Daniele. So to tell you a small story on how we met Wonderland and how we got this relationship and everything. So that's to answer your question. So if you want to know how he became a treasury manager, right person to ask is Daniele, not to us. So the other question is about the B2B side of it. So the B2B side of it is yes. So there are multiple elements. We are looking into it. Some of these big boys wanted to provide liquidity. They wanted to be as a market maker with us. And some of them want to have their own skin. So I don't want to name them because they're huge in US. They have a license in 6 states. They reached out to us and they said like they wanted to have our platform skin and they want to have our entire backend. So which is not confirmed yet because we are still developing certain tools. We have to finalize, we have to finish them before we collaborate with them. So these things will come out in our, we will make an announcement that we are collaborating with so and so on later stages. But it's too early to give out names at the stage right now.
Okay, perfect. I could probably name them because I use them like there's no tomorrow, but I appreciate your frankness and being upfront with us. And take care, boys. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave. All the best.
Thank you. All right, let's invite up the next person. Kings, welcome, Kings.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yep, sure.
Beautiful. I really appreciate the comments, and this is amazing time. I agree with you, Mavic, on the bearish market or the sideways market is the best time where we can collaborate and think upon the long term. My question is, how do we compete with the companies like FanDuel, DraftKings, since they are also coming in a partnership with Polygons and coming to blockchain? Are they going to be our direct competitors or not? That's question number one. You want me to continue with 3 or 4 flavors of questions or go one by one?
I prefer one by one. So see, to answer your question in first place, if it's a Web 2.0 coming into Web 3.0 access with Polygon or something, for sure they're going to use them only for the payment gateway, nothing else. Okay, they're not going to let go of your. See, that's what the first thing is. Don't forget that FanDuel, DraftKings, these are bookmakers. Understand? So technically, your loss is their profit. House always win. So we are taking that power away from them and giving to you. So you, the Kings, can be a bookmaker. Come on, can you imagine that? Have you ever thought of being a bookmaker in your life? So where like the statistics already, it's proven. Why always the casino always win? Because there will be a player so good. You can go predict 10 games. You will predict 4 games correct, but other 6 games you will not predict correctly. You will lose in the long run. That's why the house always win. So currently, why will DraftKings or a FanDuel will leave that profit margin and come and give the power to you, the king? So will they give that profit to you? Will they ask you to be the bookmaker? You be the bookmaker, not us? No, because eventually there was the test run that we did on a testnet. If you go today to testnet, if you start laying all the bets, go to our testnet and just go in whichever games people are betting, just do only one side, lay the bets, okay? Don't do nothing. And wait for the end of the result. Who will always win? You will win. Because the house always wins.
So
they will not.
They're gonna fuck the people, right? But you guys are, empowering the people. So tell me, how do I go to testnet? I want to try my hands before you guys go live.
Please go to betswap.gg and click on testnet, and there's a go to guide, and you can read the guide how to do that. And it's very simple. Yeah. And by the way, we are going to announce a contest coming weeks, and please feel free to. There's a test free to play contest, so you can even earn real money out of that. Yeah.
In the testnet, how do I, if I want so what is the currency? Is it BSGG is the only way, or is the stable coins?
You can go to the guide. It will be everything is written there. How to set up the wallet, how to select the Polygon network, what currency you use. Everything is there. You can just read it. It's only 5 points. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And my second question is, what is the engagement for the community members? How can we participate, spread the word out? What are the perks for working in a DAO kind of engagement? Although it's not DAO, but as a volunteer? How do we spread the word
Yes,
for you
we
guys?
do have certain programs. I think so. One of our mod head is here in this call called Kingmaker. For sure, please reach out to him. He's here in this, or he will reach out to you later on this call. Definitely, or else join our Telegram and you can reach out to them, directly. They will give you all the details. They'll give you all the details and incentives and how can you collaborate and how can you spread the word, and even if you run a community for us and everything. Yeah, he will explain everything in detail. Yeah.
Okay, and is the future multi-chain for us? Terra, Solana, Ethereum.
Currently, our ERC20 token, Betswap token, is multi-chained. It can be moved between multiple chains, but not the platform. Platform is currently going live only in Polygon. But of course, because currently we are waiting for the mainnet to go live. As soon as the mainnet is live, yes, we will be activating Avalanche. Anything we cannot, at the moment we can only do EVM. The EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine. So you can only translate between whichever is like EVM compatible, like for example, Polygon, AVAX. These are EVM chains. Within this chain, yes, you can do multi-chain betting, but Solana is not at the moment. We were planning to build a Solana actually this month, but we postponed it because of they have some technical issues. They have complete centralized solutions there. So a few things like which is not immediate need at the moment for us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. And is it all like Polygon is gasless? I would say like almost gas free. So
Yeah,
we are not on
exactly.
layer 1. We will be on the layer 2, right?
No, we are layer 1 because Polygon is a layer 1. Polygon is not a layer 2. Initially, they came up with layer 2, but they have failed it. They couldn't do a plasma. They just moved it to layer 1. So right now, for the gas fee that you're seeing is like one Matic is around $1.2. To burn a Matic, you need to have like 1,500 transactions. So you have to make 1,500 bets. I'm talking about today. It can go up and down. I'm not saying exactly. So it will take you almost 1,500 bets before you burn $1. So that's nothing. Come on, if you're betting for $10, you're paying
So that's
one.
why I'm saying it's almost gas free. Almost gas free.
Exactly. It's
Got
not,
it.
and also
But any plans for going with sorry, go ahead.
Arbitrium, you mean?
Yeah. Any plans with Optimism or Starkware or any of those
Yes, as
solutions?
I mentioned,
the implementation.
As I mentioned to you, yes, first we wanted to go live in one network and make sure that product is functioning properly, and everybody is happy. And then, of course, that's called the features. Of course, we're going to add multiple chain. If there is a demand for every chain, there is a lot of users on the chain, we will add it. End of the day, you need to have users are using it. As I mentioned to you, we are EVM compatible, so we can go and deploy in any. We don't need to go and code it again. Understand? Once you code it in Polygon, that's enough. You can go and copy paste it. With multiple chains because it's easy. Yeah.
I see. And I forgot, you mentioned, I didn't catch the name. Who was the developer that we have the main developer working for Vitalik, and it's our main developer for this project? Just wanted to look him up on Twitter.
I'm sorry, he's anonymous. So he's called himself as in our white paper. You can see his name as a pseudonym. Yes, he's working with us actually at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So we can follow him on Twitter and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and invite someone else up to ask one more. Welcome. You are muted.
Hello. I think you can hear me. Yeah, quick question. So do you plan, probably not now, but once you are on mainnet, do you plan on open sourcing anything, specifically like the UI?
No, at the moment we are completely usually when we started it, we were doing outsourcing. It didn't end up well for us. So that's why we are doing everything in-house at the moment. We are hiring our own team. And if you're having a good talent, and please feel free to reach out to us to connect@betswap.gg. We're always hiring good talents. Yeah. No, at the moment we're doing all in-house.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. I apologize for the confusion earlier. This device had its permissions disabled for the microphone. Just a quick question. I was curious if you thought about putting a focus towards esports betting. It seems like it might be like a logical connection, and that the audience might be easier to migrate over to the platform since they're already sort of familiar with a more digital environment.
Oh, lovely. The esports is one of our main focus. So that's where Martin will explain that currently we are adding more markets on. Currently, what we get is like the Betfair odds does not have much of esports game in it. So we are talking to other providers to add more esports betting into it. Esports is huge. Come on, like I myself is a player. I used to play Dota 2. I myself play Mobile Legends on my free time when I used to have. But now I am super occupied with this project. So yes, esports is huge and humongous, and even we plan to sponsor some esport teams and tournaments coming months, as I mentioned to you, if you were on the initial stage of the AMA.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Intact, welcome.
Hey guys, appreciate the time and the opportunity to ask a question. Just wondered if you could speak to the difference, I guess, in the profitability model versus standard, what I would be familiar with in the US, like a DraftKings, which all struggle to maintain any level of profitability and are losing, multiple millions each quarter. And I guess, how do you guys plan to attack that and actually make money? And maybe it's different in the European countries, and they're, busting money out the seams, because I know from the Wonderland perspective, we're getting a profit share, which I think will come in the form of a token. But just wondering if you could speak to that a little bit. Thanks.
Yeah, so if I gathered it correctly, you're talking about how we're going to make money ultimately. So we charge a commission on winning bets, right? So obviously we're just matching bets from a global liquidity pool, and we're not taking the house as a bookmaker, traditional bookmaker would today. I'm sure you're aware of that already by now. But yeah, so basically our earnings are coming from commission, and that commission will be broken down across multiple different streams, paying for operational costs, for example, to buying coins and burning coins, etc., etc. So yeah, like I said, we're not the bookmaker, so we're not taking any risk on our side whatsoever.
So then again, let me ask a follow-up question. I guess I know what their costs have traditionally been. Have been just, I guess, customer acquisition costs and what it costs to acquire a customer and then obviously maintain that customer. What is your strategy, I guess, for customer acquisition? How do you guys plan on attacking and bringing new users to this? And maybe you've spoken to it a little bit, and I missed. No,
we didn't actually, and it's a fair point. So Mavic can maybe jump in a moment.
In terms of CPA, and that's you're talking about CPA, customer acquisition. So we have multiple, marketing strategy, as I told you initially, that we are going through influencer marketing, we are going through PR, we're going through sponsorships. These are the stuff. But apart from that, we also have our own affiliate model. So you can be affiliate and you can have a CPA will be paid out in coins, not in terms of fiat. So it will be our BSDG tokens instead of paying in fiat. And then you can also have the volume fee that is generated. So for exchange business, the CPA model is different compared to a traditional sportsbook that you're talking about, DraftKings or FanDuel, because they offer bonuses, they offer all this stuff, but we cannot offer bonuses. So instead, we offer bonuses in the terms of coins. And in a traditional sportsbook, they have to pay the CPA in terms of US dollars. That's a cost for them. For us, in our case, we are paying CPA in terms of our tokens, which already have minted and kept it in the ecosystem. So I don't see that as a high cost acquisition at the moment. So we have multiple ways of acquiring customers, as I mentioned to you, organically through influencers and stuff. And then there's one community is going through directly, like a direct marketing, what you're mentioning, but that is a very expensive model and it's a highly competitive model. That's why if you see a few articles back in US market, they said that the FanDuel said that sports betting industry is getting saturated, highly saturated, because so many players are coming in and so many people are competing with the same user. And if you see the word sports betting in Google right now, in UK, it costs you £130. That's a lot just to pay per click. Cost per click is, for the word sports betting or casino, it's costing you anywhere from 50 to 150 pounds. That's a lot for cost per click. So we are not taking that approach. We are taking a different approach, because in first place, we cannot go and market on Google or Facebook, because we are not a company or we don't have a license or something like that. You understand? So we are a decentralized platform. So we go banner advertising, we go affiliate marketing, we go influencer marketing. Our strategy is totally different. So in that way, it's much lower than the current CPA that has been paid by DraftKings or FanDuel.
And just to add a bit more weight onto this, if I can, Intact. So we'll obviously be very, very smart in our partnerships that we do, whether it be sponsorship partnerships, but also B2B partnerships, as Mavic mentioned earlier on. So we will, the one of the reasons for, branching out, if you want, to B2B partners within the iGaming sports betting space is that we want to build the global liquidity pool to be as big as possible. Actually, if we get some of these tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 operators coming in as partners, they will have databases themselves, okay, which they can tap into. Probably not the active database, but definitely their churn database, which could run into the millions and hundreds of thousands. And maybe people who are looking for a particular product like this, or have left that particular operator for different reasons that I kind of mentioned earlier on, which has come with some of our USPs.
So I guess just one last question. What, from a per person or per user standpoint, what would you guys as a goal like to see from a revenue or profit generated per person based upon like what you guys have seen and your knowledge in the industry? And I guess looking long.
It's just to jump in. It's difficult to know because you can run multiple different accounts. Okay. So you can have multiple different wallets. So it's going to be we will obviously be monitoring kind of who's making money, right? Obviously, we have reports and we can kind of see what wallets are generating, and anybody can see that actually because it's on the chain. You can go and check it yourself if you have to. So we look, the average, just to give you some numbers, if you don't have the numbers, the average is around about 350, 400 a year. That's what you kind of get from somebody who's an active player, maybe placing 2 or 3 bets a week. That's generally what they're worth. In different parts of the world, they're worth kind of different. And again, it depends because you look at sports books and they're running much higher margins. So obviously they're going to be making much more money. And what they're doing is they're cross-selling a lot of sportsbook customers over to casino because that's where they're making most of their money because the casino margins obviously much higher. So it's difficult to put a number on it for now to give you. I can't sit here and give you $350, $400 on average per person per year. It'll be something that we'll monitor as we go along because we won't have a traditional casino like you see today.
Okay, yeah, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. All right, I have time for one last question. Let's invite one more person up. Steve, 78, welcome.
Hi, Alice. Hi, Miko. Hi, Mavic. I'm so happy I was able to be picked before this is over. Thank you for the time today.
Hey, Steve, thanks.
Awesome. So my question is, and I think this relates to what the past couple of people are speaking to as well. So number one, connecting it to the esports world. So I know we have thoughts to go into like Dota and those types of games. What about like crypto esports? Like for example, Zedrun. I'm part of a project called Oli Sports. There's also Piston. Do you guys have interest in partnering with those projects?
Of course. So that's what I mentioned to you. NFT games betting. So one of the names you mentioned, they already approached us and we are working with them. So one of the 3 that you mentioned, I'm not going to tell who is that. So you'll find out later. So one of them already approached us and we are building API for them to work with us on offering the betting solutions. So similarly, there's one more game, which is an amazing game. For sure, everybody will love it. I think so. This could be the next Axie Infinity. They reached out to us and they wanted to offer a betting as well on an NFT crypto. We call this one, you mentioned it as a crypto esports. Okay, I call it NFT esports, okay? Kind of like NFT. Okay. Crypto. Yeah, that's what I mentioned to you. So there are different categories. One is the normal sports betting prediction market. And then I mentioned to you there's one more category called NFT sportsbook. So one of the 3 you mentioned already is collaborated with us. And you will find out later. And the other one is the new one, completely new. That's fantastic, super cool game. So we just gave some test games to a few of our friends and they love it. And it's also a battle game, similar to Axie Infinity. They wanted to have a betting element to it. And we are integrating with them as well. So we'll make an announcement on it soon, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think you can tell me if it's Oli Sports? Because if it is, then I think we're pretty good there. I haven't had the team give me an update. But if it's not, would you be interested to work with Oli Sports?
I don't want to mention the name.
Reach out to us separately, Steve, and we'll have a chat.
Yeah, we can talk it separately, not in publicly. Yes, one of the three is already talking to us.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, if you guys could send me
They
a
already
message,
know
that'd
them.
be great.
Maybe
I don't think
you
I can
can
send
run
one to
our
you.
name. Maybe you run our name to one of the three. You will find out who we're working with. So you can find it out like that.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that we can figure out how to work with all three of them, and I can help connect all of them, because I think that would be huge for the platform to be able to do all these NFT.
Yes, exactly. That is one of the
betting.
that will attract a lot of. See, currently we have traffic from sports betting users only. So we want also the crypto community, the crypto NFT lovers to come and start betting, and they may not like sports betting like soccer, football, or like NFL. They don't like that. They may like these kind of games. They love to bet on these kind of games. Of course, we have this vertical. So that's where we said Betswap is not just looking at as one particular product. It's trying to integrate multiple products. You understand? That's why we opened up the vertical of option trading and prediction market. So all the crypto, people who love option trading, they will come to us. So technically, we are attracting a lot of these Binance users who may love to trade on Binance like a normal crypto. Some of them love crypto like options trading. They might come to us. So technically, we wanted to act as one of the hosts for multiple betting verticals.
Yeah, for sure. And like having futures added inside, I think that would be another plus for you guys too. And one more thought that we had was having the sports betting for game guilds, like having guilds bet against each other as well. So that might be another avenue for you guys, since they're so big and developed already.
Yeah, please reach out to us. Definitely, we can have a separate call and we can discuss it and collaborations and everything. Yeah. But not on
how should I reach out to you?
I've already reached out to you, Steve. You should have a friend request for me and a message.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
Alice.
right?
Thanks a million.
Thanks everyone that tuned in, and thank you, Mavic and Martin, for your time. We really appreciate you coming here and answering these questions for us.
No problem.
Thank you, guys. Please follow us on our Discord. Yeah, and if you want to reach us with more questions, come to our Discord. Ask as much as question you want. We're happy to answer it. Or Telegram or Twitter, whichever channel you like to follow us. Yep. And thank you, Alice, for your time. And yep.
Thanks, everyone. We'll chat again, hopefully. Take care. Stay safe.